I don't think there's a woman in the world who can't say she has fear. Forget about it. Every woman has an insecurity. We all do. From the color of your hair to your weight to comparing yourself to a woman who might be prettier than you, who has a better car than you, nicer house. Every woman has confidence issues. If you think I don't, think again.
Hey, Sister Power Hustlers. It's November. It's episode 25. We are talking with Carol Sankar, and get ready to get confident. Let's go.
This is Her Power Hustle with Michelle Talbot, where inspiration meets motivation to empower you for the perspiration of being a woman entrepreneur.
Hey, Sister Power Hustlers. It's Michelle Talbot here, your host at Her Power Hustle, the podcast. It is November 2nd, 2015. We are starting off our month with a bang. All this month in November, we will be highlighting her power. We will be talking with incredible women entrepreneurs or businesses that are focused on women entrepreneurs and really bringing you some meat, some heft, some tools and resources that you can really use. But we are focused on the woman entrepreneur. We are focused on you the entire month of November. We will be rolling out some really special opportunities for you. We will be rolling out some really special tips and resources, and just super excited to get started. Today we have my own personal coach, my own personal mentor, Carol Sankar. Carol is an author, a best-selling author. She is a TEDx talk speaker. She is an expert on confidence. She has built her business around real estate and is just expanding and helping women step into their confidence, into their greatness. And I think you're really going to enjoy this conversation. So I'm going to stop talking so you can check it out. Of course, as always, you can get all the show notes at herpowerhustle.com/confidence factor, and I will see you on the other side.
Welcome back to Her Power Hustle. We are so excited. Today is a special day. If you are listening to this episode on the day that we release, it is November 2nd, 2015, and we are kicking off 5 amazing conversations with 5 amazing women entrepreneurs. And I'm just so excited today because we are starting with one of my personal mentors, Carol Sankar. Carol is just incredible. I'm going to read a little bit about her bio, but then I'm going to give you some personal insights from me, and then we're going to get into a really meaty conversation with Carol about women and confidence and her no-holds-barred approach to making sure that you, Sister Power Hustlers, kick ass in business. Carol Sankar is an international high-level performance consultant and real estate investment expert who focuses on strategic implementation strategies to assist today's established business owners and high-level executives. Her business and wealth tips have been featured in publications in Finland, Australia, Germany, the UK, the U.S. Virgin Islands. We both have a little bit of Caribbean roots that we harken back to. She has been featured on the Steve Harvey Show, CNNmoney.com. She's given an incredible TEDx talk that we're going to link to in the show notes. And she is just an amazing business mind. She did a little time in law school, and we'll call it a little time. We'll get into that a little later. She did her bid in law school.
My little bid.
So needless to say, she gets on me. Michelle, you're thinking like a lawyer. But what I have to say is that coaches have coaches. Michael Jordan had a coach. Serena, Oprah Winfrey has voice coaches. What I love about Carol is you guys come to me and ask me for advice. Well, I'm letting you in on a secret. I go to Carol. So, I really am excited to have her here because I feel like I'm sharing my secret weapon with you. Carol Sankar, thank you so much for being here with us at Her Power Hustle.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
right, so we're going to get right into it. Yeah, so I was looking at your most recent book, The Confidence Factor for Women. And the reason I'm going to start with Chapter 1's title is because I think that that's going to form a really good base for the rest of our conversation.
Okay.
And Chapter 1 of The Confidence Factor for Women, which is available on Amazon right now, ladies, so you can get it right now. Do women like struggle? So let's back up. Let's talk about how you got started. Your journey in confidence, and let's start from the beginning, wherever you want to claim the beginning to be for you.
Yeah. So, like, what had happened was
exactly.
If you want to get to the beginning, you got to start with what had happened was.
Always.
I don't even really know how this whole thing began. I always say that God really picks his vessels in a way that you just don't expect. And so I have been in different fields. I had a legal consulting company for a little while, and I hired a lot of great lawyers to work with me to help the diaspora communities in New York City right after I left America. But all the lawyers that I can get that wanted to work with me at that capacity were men. I never thought of it as anything because I just got used to it because I'd worked in several law firms while I was in law school trying to become an apprentice in different law firms in the associate program. And I was used to all of the men in the corner offices. I got immune to it. And then subsequently I went into real estate development and real estate, investing in real estate. I had gotten used to the fact that all the contractors were men. I got used to the fact that the people at the permit office were men. I got used to the fact that all of the guys who I would go to the auctions with were men, the auctioneers were men. I just got so immune to it that when women would ask me, can you teach me how to start a real estate career? I'd be like, for what for? What do you want? Because it'd be shocking to me. And then when I would take the time to really find out what they needed, teach them, they wouldn't implement. So I started to be like, oh, these women are just soft. They don't really want it. So I would go back into my male-dominated society, my little closed Carol Sankar society, and I'm not realizing that women it wasn't that they didn't want to do the work, they just didn't have the confidence to come up to the table and do the work. And when you're in so many male-dominated industries, it really became something where, as a woman, you get used to being the only one in the room. Well, eventually, I'd say about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe more like 5 years ago, I started to feel gender loneliness. I started to literally go into rooms and wonder, where's the ladies' room? When can I talk to a woman about girl stuff like hair and nails if there's nobody in the room? When I go to bid on properties at Harp or whatever, I couldn't find women in the room, and I did not know what was going on. And as this continued, I started to looking for answers. And I started this study called The Confidence Factor, but it was not supposed to be a book. It really was just, I'm just going to study some chicks, figure out what they want. I started this business consultancy, so I'm just going to figure out what these women want. And as I decided to work in the business development arena as well as the real estate arena, and as I started to grow into commercial, I listened to women, and I realized that they only lacked confidence. They were one confident decision away from what they wanted. And because they stayed around other self-sabotagers, and because they looked at the messages that were on television that told us that we can't have it all, and because they sat around people who limited their dreams and their abilities, they questioned every section of their own success. And eventually the confidence factor was born out of that frustration and that ability to notice that women were not playing at the same rate as men in leadership. And that's where it came from.
And so are you finding, or had you found in your studies, that the lack of confidence comes from a lack of seeing faces that mirror your own? Or is it a lack of confidence because you just don't feel like you have community? What exactly is it? Because looking at quote-unquote male-dominated industries like real estate and the law, but also looking at entrepreneurship generally, it's male-dominated, right? Especially in certain fields. So what is it that you felt that the women were saying, this is why I can't take that next step? Is it literally just the isolation and solitude?
I felt like from the research I gathered, I really studied 100 women in different capacities. I took lawyers, I took doctors, I took PhDs. I took a lot of different women in different sectors. It wasn't just like one type of woman. And I looked at why they weren't accelerating. And the thing about entrepreneurship that is so strange is that if a woman feels that there's a competitor that's doing it better than she is, she literally turns on her fear factor. She literally just turns it on. So if somebody meets another business consultant and he's making $100,000 and she's making $10, she turns her fear factor on and says, you know what, I just can't do it. I can't because my competition is doing blank, 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 and blank. So we realize that it's really fear. It's literally the only thing that it is. It's not a whole bunch of different factors. Fear is a factor and confidence is a factor. The fear factor keeps women in the discount mode. That's why I wrote the first chapter exactly like that, because most women understand fear so well. They don't understand what confidence is. They think confidence is this big, brutey thing that you do out in the public. No, it's not. It's a mindset. If you don't have confidence in your mindset, nothing you do out in the public, nothing you do in your business, nothing you do in your career will make sense. But we know what fear is. We know how fearful we are. And for the average woman who's not at a certain level in her business and who's not at a certain level in her career, she spends more time advertising fear and advocating for it than she does for success because she does not know that she's one confident decision away from it. So she's thinking confidence is the way you stand and in your posture. She doesn't realize that the fear that she's endorsing is just growing. It's metastasizing in her mind. It's keeping her from where she wants to be.
Can you give us an example of where women are confident? Because I think that can also help. That might help women understand where they lack confidence. If there is an idea of where are we confident? Where have you found that women tend to be confident?
We're confident at home. We're confident with our kids. We're confident in our relationships with men or women. We're confident with our spouses. We're confident with our parents. We're confident in places we have immediate control. So when we are with our children, we are confident because we are the authority. So the kids look up to us. So we are at the helm of being in leadership. We are confident amongst our peers, people who think like us, look like us, act like us. So we're confident amongst our friends. So it's almost like you look forward to, if you give a friend an idea and your friend says, yeah, that's a good idea, you feel like you're at an accelerated level because you just supported a friend through something. We feel confident around our parents because we know how our parents do, we know how we can answer them, so we know how to control certain situations. We're confident with our spouses because we know what turns him or her on. We know how to basically keep that relationship stable. But in the world of perfection, why we are not confident there is because every day is an unknown, every day. In the situations where we have control, we are at our height. And the reason why most women don't understand what confidence is because if they have to do something different at a different level every day, it presents a new challenge and it presents a new set of ideologies around trying to solve a new problem. And so therefore we feel fear because we don't like change.
Yeah, say that again. Yeah. Change and control, like the C words, right? Confidence, yes. Change and control.
Yeah.
So then talk to us about, because you know the slogan's just do it. What are some ways that women, and let me back up for 1 second. At the top of the call, at the top of our conversation, I said how you are my coach. You're my mentor in a formal environment. You literally, you coach me. And I didn't come to you because I lacked confidence. In actuality, I find myself to be quite a confident woman. However, when you began to push me to think bigger than I even thought my big, quote-unquote, dreams were, I realized that fear was there. So the reason I want to bring that up is because I know some of my sister power hustlers like, confidence is not my problem. But I think that it is like that new level, new devil saying that, it depends on where you are. I may see confidence to someone else, but then you can look at me and be like, girl, 6 figures versus 7 figures versus 8 figures, let's talk about this for a minute, right? So talk to us about coming outside of, getting that confidence, coming outside of our fear factor, even if we don't think we have it. Like, how can we begin to identify places where we may be holding ourselves back?
I think that when you become confident, let me back up. I don't think there's a woman in the world who can't say she has fear. Forget about it. Every woman has an insecurity. We all do. From the color of your hair to your weight to comparing yourself to a woman who might be prettier than you, who has a better car than you, nicer house. Every woman has confidence issues. If you think I don't, think again. There are days when I have to make a proposal, and my gosh, my brain is on overload. I start having self-sabotaging talk. That means I have to go into my confidence box of clues and say, Carol, shut that little voice up because he's not making any sense. So I think that the first thing is we have to just put it across the board. All women have confidence issues. I don't care if she's the CEO of Yahoo because she's having issues as well, and I don't care if she's the janitor at Yahoo because she has confidence issues. We all have it. Okay, that's first of all. Second of all, most women who think that they don't have confidence issues have a plateau issue because they've gotten to a level where it looks good, feels good, it is good, and they stop. So they've gotten as confident as they're going to get, and they don't want to go and tap into what the next resource, the next level is going to do. So you've made $250,000. You're like, good, I'm doing good. I don't have a confidence. Yeah, right, but there's millions and trillions and bazillions of dollars more to go get. But you've gotten to a point where you've seen that you've outperformed your best in the way you've addressed your own success. So you're thinking, as long as I'm doing better than her or him or this one or that one, I've done it. So you compliment yourself too quickly. You got a little cocky too quickly and forget that every day you're supposed to address the fear of going up because the moment you start elevating, you start feeling the butterflies and the headaches and the nosebleeds. So I think that women who think that they're confident really haven't tapped into the next level of the resources that they have available to them, especially when you're talking about business. Most women who feel like they're confident in business are confident because they've achieved some level of success and they quit. So once they've achieved whatever their goal is, they stick to the goal. But I always have to remind women the cost of living goes up, the cost of playing safe goes up. And the minute that you get too confident and too cocky, guess what? Somebody will outperform you because you stayed stagnant for too long. All women have that problem with a plateau, and that's how you recognize that I've gotten way too confident because confidence makes you comfortable because you feel like you can control every situation. You're like, oh, I got this. I'm good. I'm driving around my Range Rover. That's not the best car on earth. It's like it's not. Why don't you go get a Bugatti? It's 5 times higher than a Range. Like, that's not, don't get confident yet. I got a gold chain. Why don't you go get titanium? Like, you're not there yet. Chill out. You spoke too soon. You're doing better than you said you would do. You've achieved the goal. But every time you achieve a goal, there is another goal to actually do. I started out saying, I just want to invest in some real estate. I got irritated quickly because I got tapped out. My mental fortitude said, I learned everything I had to learn in this industry. I got to go up a notch. And everybody kept saying, don't do it, Carol. You're making good money here. Because that confidence, I had it. I can go anywhere and get properties. I got 2 cups of coffee. Yeah, I got this. Shortly after, you're not content because now you're seeing the industry is changing and you're not keeping up. And as women, we have to work 30 times harder to achieve just as much as men. And if you get too confident too quickly, we'll miss our chance at elevation.
That's really interesting. That is very interesting. I'm glad you broke that down. I'm going to talk a little bit about mentorship. In the book, you mentioned there are 7 countries where women are actually on par with men when it comes to entrepreneurship. Spoiler alert, everyone, the U.S. is not one of those countries.
Not one of them. Not one
close. But you attribute that phenomenon to the mentorship structures in those communities. When I was in law school, Lonnie Guinier had just written a really good book called Becoming Gentlemen. And I wept because she talked and tapped right into what it meant to be a woman in this male-dominated structure, and then to add to that intersectionality of race, and to be a woman of color in this structure that seems to want to beat it out of you, that wants to beat that out of you. However, once in practice, I came across some amazing white guy mentors So can you talk to us a little bit about the structure versus also the individual relationships you've created with men and how women can take advantage of those?
Mentorship is this thing that I think women have really misconstrued beliefs about. They're mentors, they're coaches / consultants, and then they're people who are basically your accountability buddies. Mentors are people at a level where you want to be, but they're still accelerating to where they're going. So you must be a shadow of your mentor. The reason why, and I could not get that in the book in its highest form, because I would have written that book all about those 7 countries, because I studied them very well. Because not only that, I graduated with an international history degree, so I studied those countries long before I found that out. The issue is that those countries function where women can function at the same rate of a man, not only because that they have strong relationships with mentorship, but women in those countries understand about the investment of making mentors part of your agenda to be able to grow in business. And most women in this country think of the cost. And so the immediacy is, you just want my money, or I can't afford it, or that's too expensive, or I don't have time for this. And so you're trying to jerry-rig your own success to the left. I'm trying not to laugh. You're trying to jerry-rig your, you're trying to put your little car together by yourself. You're trying to put a wire here. And you're trying to write a letter here. And you're messing the whole thing up, right? Because you're just being cheap with your own success because you're worried about the cost. I think that one thing that women have to realize is that their cheapness and their inability to recognize the value of mentorship is the reason why we are not leveling up in leadership today, because too many women are more worried about the cost than what they're going to actually get on the investment, the return on investment. That's number one. The second thing that I always have a problem with is that most women don't have male mentors. When I want everybody to read Lean In, but I want you to read it in a way where you're processing some stuff that she says in there that nobody else seems to have read. There's a section in there where she mentions in a 3-line paragraph about Emily Meehan talks about that for every $1 that a Caucasian man earns, that a Caucasian woman earns 77 cents on the dollar. Mm-hmm. An African-American woman earns 67 cents on the dollar, mm-hmm. and a Hispanic woman earns 59 cents on the dollar. Because of that, and because women are only segregating themselves to mentors that look like them, who are in their own communities, they're not seeing that they're limiting their earning potential by not having a male mentor. So if I'm a woman who's a Hispanic woman and I only want a Hispanic mentor, then my top end goal is only 59% of earnings. What happens to the rest of it? I'm supposed to ignore what I want because I want to be just like the next Hispanic woman? Why can't I have a male mentor? I think that we have repositioned gender in such a way that we don't allow ourselves to see men as important to this leadership and this diversity and inclusion that is going to help us to be able to accelerate our success. So with that in mind, you're not going to have the breakthroughs you want unless you're mentoring with the people who have it at that level. So I always have male mentors around me. It's a non-negotiable for me because I have to be at his level. That's what I'm looking to compete against. I'm not looking to compete against another woman because I want to support women, but I want to compete against men. That's my goal.
I love that. And what I love about what you're saying is because it plays out from the other side, too. What I've found is that the white male mentors that I've had all along are happy to share their knowledge. Yes. It may be something in the back of their mind that they don't see me as a quote-unquote threat, right?
No, not at all.
They also have a level of relaxation, for lack of a better term, because they're not scraping and scrapping like the rest of us are to try to get to the top. They're there already, you know? So it's like I think Steve Harvey had this quote where he said something to the effect of, I've never seen a successful person who wouldn't share how they became successful. And so if you ask them to teach you how to fish, they're happy to teach you. But don't come to them, asking for a fish sandwich,
Right.
So it's like they're willing to teach us the tools as long as we're willing to come and ask them for the help.
Right.
Which also plays into women's oftentimes we don't like to ask for help. So where do you see the superwoman complex in regard to the whole confidence factor ecosystem? How does that play in where we don't like to ask for help?
I still have issues with that. So let me not sit here and tell you I hate asking for help because I always feel like, man, I should have all of this under control, but I'm human, and things happen. Like right now, I'm building some things for 2016, and I don't have enough hands on deck right now. I have just enough, but I don't have enough for where the growth is taking me based on the projections. So I have to ask for help. I have to ask people to chip in. I think the main thing about asking for help is being honest in what you need, being completely vulnerable. Don't act like you have it all under control. I already said, look, here's the 10 things I need help with, and I don't have half of them under control. That's why I'm asking you to clarify maybe where I'm slipping, because I got some administrative stuff that needs to be taken care of that I can't do. So what I'm saying is, for most women, our problem is we don't like to ask for help because we let our pride and our ego control where we go. And here's another problem that I see with women. We ask for help from people we already know. Sometimes you got to get out of that box of, the 10 friends you got, the homegirl you have, your cousin. You got to get out of that thinking, because the people who you already know sometimes don't help you at the level you need help on. You have to be vulnerable to saying to the world, you got 8 billion people in the world that are willing to help you. Well, get you one. There's a ton of them that are willing to do things for you. You have to open up the reservoir to say, look, hand up. Here's my problem. I don't know how to do letters. Here's my problem. I don't know how to do a website. Here's my problem. I'm trying to build a movement. I don't know where to start. Put it out there. But we put fear on display, but we don't ask for help while we're asking for, endorse my fear. One of these days it's going to get better. Wait a minute. Why don't you just tell them you need help and stop telling everybody, one day God's going to come get me. Stop that. What you really want to say is, I don't know how to do blank. I don't know how to do webinars. I don't know how to do phone calls. I don't know how to charge. Ask for help. Be very vulnerable, because you're not going to be successful without being able to ask for help, and you're going to receive it when you open up the world as a possibility for people who are willing to help you get to where you need to go.
So what? I mean, what's the benefit of having confidence? Why should people care? Why should women care? Why should we want to be confident? What's on the other side of the rainbow if we, embrace our confidence and move within our confidence and take the steps that you put out?
Money. The brokest women in the world are the ones who are fearful. You're not going to get, let me tell you something. Let me tell you this story. It's true. I'm an Acura fanatic. I don't lie about it. I'm not a luxury car girl. I love to drag race. That's just what I do. That's probably the other side of me people don't know. And in the state of North Carolina, you have to inspect your car if you have a performance car, it's every 6 months. If you have a regular car, it's every year, right? So last year, I think it was, or the year before, I went to go have my car inspected. And I have a few, so I don't remember which one it was, but I remember it was one of my babies. And when I got there, I knew that there was a switch that was missing in my car. I knew that. But I didn't know what it was called. And I had been to the Acura dealer, and they told me they didn't have this switch. I don't know what it's called. So let's just call it missing switch A, right? But I knew when my inspection was up. So I went to the inspection place anyway and said, hey, look, I know my such and such is off. Can I pay the fee for the failed inspection just so I can make sure the date is okay? I'm going to go back to Acura again to get this thing fixed. The guy says, no problem, Mommy, I can fix it. That's what he said. I can fix it. So this is what this man does. And I lie to you not. He takes out a laptop. He opens it, and I see him typing, how to fix switch A on, whoa, let me tell you something. You ever see a person drive with the doors open? I flung out of that shop. I saw, because I'm seeing him typing, how to fix switch on Acura. I said, wait a minute, he on Google? He doesn't know how to fix it. I don't want a fearful mechanic touching my baby the same way I don't want a fearful coach giving me advice. I don't want a fearful doctor operating on my spleen the same way I don't want a fearful nurse telling me that it's a abscess in my mouth, meanwhile my toe is about to be cut off. Confidence has value. That man lost a sale because I saw him with he said, now listen to what I said. The man said, don't worry about it, Mommy. I can fix it. So I said, okay, because he told me that he could do it. But then you right in front of me in the weight room, you pull up a laptop to Google it. If Google was the thing, I would have done it myself. Why would I pay you for fear? We have to stop thinking that confidence does not have value. That's a $300 sale he lost because you have to pay for the failure, you have to pay for the part, and you have to send it to the state to say that you're already doing it. That's how that works. He lost money because he sold me fear. He said I could do it, and then turns around and he can't do it. If we don't embrace confidence as women, we're going to lose a lot of opportunities. Many of us are not showing up in the right room anyway. That's a whole other issue. But because we're selling fear all day, we're frustrated. Why can't I meet the kind of customers and clients I want? Why can't I get to speak on that stage? Why can't I make $1 million a year? Because you're selling fear. Because you're showing people that you go on Google too how to give you advice, how to make more money. We have to stop. Confidence equates to money. Nobody wants a fearful coach giving them advice. That's not what you want.
And what's interesting about that is most women wouldn't have to Google. They would actually know how to fix it. You know, we know the information. We're just fearful to put it out there.
Yes.
So what are some steps that women can take that are concrete, actual steps to begin to work their confidence muscle and get it where it needs to be?
Number one, start talking to better people. That old saying, you are the sum total of the 5 people you hang out with or whatever that is. That is, to me, that is a little bit overrated. You are the sum total of the one person you talk to every day, just one. Because you can sell a woman's fear much faster than waiting for her to hang out with her 5 broke girlfriends. You just have to give her one girlfriend who's broke and let her girlfriend tell her all about all the mediocrity she's got going on in her life. You've got to get into circles where you're with better people who are doing what you want to do, who are at an accelerated level, and stop being fearful that they're prejudging you. The second thing is I think that we have to get into a place where we stop practicing. Many women like journals. They like to look at stuff in pretty books. They like to go to every conference. They like to buy tons of stuff and keep stuff around them. And we're becoming clutter fanatics with information, but we're not implementing any of this stuff. So the thing is, you have to get out of that fear factor and implement, and stop trying to use it as a test study on your friends. Just do it. Just literally get into the market. Literally do the yield thing on the highway. I'm coming out. Can you see me? It's not worried about if I can see you. Can you see me? It's much more important. When you're yielding on that highway, you want to know, can you see me? Because I'm on the way. I'm coming out on this highway doing 90, whether you like it or not. We have to stop staying in the service lane, and that is our problem. We stay in the service lane because we're fearful that getting on the highway will be too fast. The third thing I think we also need to do is we have to stop looking for accountability and start getting into rooms of high net worth networkers, meaning you have to start going to places where people who already are doing it are networking. There's a language to success, and if you're not around it long enough, you will think that your little $2 language is good enough. But you have to allow success to be a little bit fearful in your mind, too. You have to hear what they're talking about, what they're thinking, how they're communicating, how their deals are going, what they're negotiating over. Once you start doing that, you put all of those together, I think you'll have a woman who is more than prepared to get out there and be successful in business.
And how do they find these people, right? Because a lot of times, like you said, we are a reflection of that one person or those 5 people who we spend the most time with. We think that, I've heard you even say, like, okay, you might like Louis, but what about Hermes? It's looking at, how do we identify the successful, the language, where we find these people?
You wouldn't believe it's easier to find them than it is to find broke people. So this is where you find them. You have to start making yourself vulnerable to networking in places you've never thought you'd go before. So if you have gone to an event and you've met Susie, Sally, and Barbara, and you've met them before you know them, it's time for you to try to change the circle. Another thing is, another great place to meet people on an elevated level, membership Memberships. I cannot incite how invaluable my memberships are. Every year, that's a major expense, but let me tell you, it pays off in major ways. You have to become a member of something that is bigger than you that you didn't anticipate, because those people, memberships plays a big role, not the homegrown membership that's putting up the site on Wild Apricot. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about real high-level membership. I know I was wrong for that, but
no shade.
But you have to have memberships. Memberships in organizations that are reputable, old school mentorships that some of the people that you want to work with, that's where they are. Look for old memberships in the tips, the BNIs. You got to go to the eWomen. You got to go to places where that reputation is, and not only go to the membership events, go to all the networking they do in between. They set up lunch and learns. They set up different things and different retreats throughout the week. You got to go to those things, because why we're not in the room is because after we get in the room, we get nervous. And so we think, okay, I'm not going to go again. No, every time they have something, call that part of your agenda that is purposeful, because you never know who you're going to meet. And you have to become a member of a lot of things. Invest in those memberships. And I think the third thing is you've got to change the circumstance around when you are available. I make no apologies for the fact that you cannot call me to come to any event on a Saturday or a Sunday. Number one, decision makers are not available on a Saturday. They're out with their families. If we're networking on a Saturday, it's because we want to. But if I want to go out to be constructive about building my business, that's not happening on a Saturday nor a Sunday. They're at the golf course. They're on a plane going someplace. They're with their family. They're at Whole Foods. They're not calling them a networking event on a Saturday. That is a function. If you want to go to a function, go to a function and network. But if you want to meet high net worth individuals who are doing what you want to do, they're not available on Saturdays or Sundays. And that's why I no longer do events on Saturdays and Sundays.
That's great advice. That's great advice. Yeah, we have to be very circumspect and strategic in where we are, who we're surrounding ourselves with, the investments that we're making in ourselves, because they are investments, and they're called investments because they have returns on them, right? So you want to be very thoughtful about what you're doing. I love that, and you know I'm so passionate about that. So talk to us about how we can support you, because you've delivered so much value in this conversation. Talk to us about some things you have coming up on the horizon.
Come to the colloquium 2016.
Yay!
It is going to be it's going to be the second one I've ever done, but it's going to be my first annual signature event, where I'm really bringing a small amount of highly committed women from all over the world into a room. We're going to learn. We're going to beat it out of you one way or another. We're going to close the door. We're going to beat it out of you. I'm bringing a lot of lawyers. Yeah, you lawyers are coming. I'm bringing
we're the people you love to hate or hate to love.
I'm bringing a lot of lawyers, a lot of high-level women. I'm bringing franchise owners. I have women coming from Australia. I have women coming from Montreal, Toronto. We have women from Bermuda coming. This is not about women who want to come to another conference and be told or, shaken and tell them that everything is going to be great. These are high-level leaders who are going to show you how to get out of that entrepreneurial space and build yourself to be a CEO. I think many women think on an infancy scale for too long. Many of us think about our business, but we don't think about growing a company. We don't think about staff. We don't think about expansion. We don't think about, location, opening up separate locations. Even if you work from home, you should be a real CEO, not that CEO you put at the end of your name. I'm talking about a real CEO with real staff, real shares, people who want to buy your company, people who want to invest in you. So we're going to talk about all of that. I'm going to try to bring in some venture capitalists, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get that done in time. But really taking women out of their own infancy thinking, and that's the only thing that is on my agenda right now with the conference factor, is literally getting women out of their thinking about another conference. This is not a conference. This is a place where high-level women are going to get the work done. So that's what it's all about.
And for the women who might be self-selecting out and going, she said high-level women. I'm not high-level. Define who is the proper attendee for the colloquium.
The proper attendee is a woman who is not on that self-sabotaging nonsense, a woman who does the work, a woman who doesn't want to come to another conference and take pictures on the step and repeat so she can go put on Instagram. A woman,
no shade.
No shade. But you know how that goes, right?
Yeah, you know.
A woman who is not looking for another book, another product, a woman who is looking to get it done. When I say high level, I'm talking about intelligent women who are not ready to sit there and take pictures or network or share business cards without purpose. How many times have we, only women, go to events, take business cards, go home, follow up with these people, and they never follow back up with you? That's because they don't think on an intelligent level. They're there just to take pictures on the step and repeat with the backdrop to say they've been someplace. I am only taking women who are forget about going someplace. They're in it to get the work done. And because I'm investing in such a high level in the people who I'm bringing, it really matters that you don't leave the room without a plan. Because I think that too many women are waiting for somebody else to come up with the plan. They're inspired. I'm motivated. Well, why don't you get the tip you need to, now that you're motivated, now that the engine is rolling, why don't you do something with all that energy you got?
Right.
So we're creating the environment. All you got to do is come, and this is not a motivational event. I mean, just put the disclaimer out. I am not a motivator. My people are not motivators. We are educators. We do real high-level advisory. We start our conversations in the 6s and we end in the 8s. That's the level we talk on. I don't talk to my people about, I just want to make $10,000 this month. That's not a realistic goal because too many women only settle for average, and I don't believe average is a goal.
So, Sister Power Hustlers, you have a little insight into why Carol is my coach. Her book is The Confidence Factor for Women in Business, Limitless Success and Abundance for Women. The Confidence Factor colloquium is when?
March 18, 2016, and we're almost sold out.
Yay! And you will find links to all of this information at herpowerhustle.com/confidence factor. Carol, thank you so much for joining us. Do you have any final parting words of wisdom? You've shared so much. Do you have any final parting words for our sister Power Hustlers who are tuning in? And our brother Power Hustlers, because we got some of those too. Hi, guys.
I think the only thing I would like to leave them with is to get it done. Stop thinking, stop debating, stop overanalyzing, stop worrying about if you belong, who's there, who's not there, I feel alone. Stop thinking like that. I say that leadership is the most lonely place on earth because the higher up you go, the less people are coming up that mountain with you. So just get it done anyway.
And what's interesting, what I love about you is that, you know, among the many things that I love about you, one of the things that I love about you is you're really creating the community that the women are seeking, right? Because much of the lack of confidence is saying there are people there who look like me. Well, Carol's saying, wait, I'm here. Look at me. Come on, y'all. Let's go. Like squad goals. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah.
So I love that.
Do it.
Carol Sankar, tell our people where they can find you. You're an Instagram and Twitter girl like me, and you have some amazing posts on LinkedIn. If you guys aren't following Carol on LinkedIn, you really need to follow her writings on LinkedIn. But tell people where they can find you, please.
Everywhere at Carol Sankar except for Pinterest. Pinterest is at C Sankar, but everywhere is Carol Sankar. So carolsankar.com, Instagram at Carol Sankar, Twitter at Carol Sankar, Facebook at Carol Sankar, Blab at Carol Sankar, Periscope at Carol Sankar, Meerkat at Carol Sankar. I just love my Meerkat. I don't care what y'all say. I'm not a petty girl. I'm a Meerkat girl. Leave me alone.
I did Meerkat. I still have the app on my phone, but I was like, let me do this
Periscope
thing.
See? Y'all are slipping. Y'all don't understand. I do a good Meerkat, boy, I tell you.
She gives good Meerkat, y'all. So
that's
listen,
right.
Carol, thank you so much. Obviously there are so many things that we could have discussed with you in terms of real estate and consulting and just a plethora of topics of which you are very knowledgeable, which is why I want folks to follow you everywhere. But I really appreciate you focusing and drilling down with us for our month of November on confidence. And we are coming out the gate strong for our month-long focus on amazing women entrepreneurs. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm appreciative. I'm humble. Thank you.
Absolutely. And this woman has swag, so for her to say she's humble,
I didn't know I had swag. See, I'm learning. I'm learning.
Thank you so much, Carol. So you guys be sure to check out Carol everywhere.
Thank you.
I hope you got some really good information out of that conversation with Carol. When I say she's no holds barred, I'm not kidding, as you have now seen for yourselves. I would love to hear what your best takeaways were from that conversation. For me, I will be quite frank, when I started working with Carol, she had me position myself and my business in a trajectory that quite honestly had me nauseous for about a week and a half. And I did it, and I'm so thankful that I took her advice, that I took her guidance. I think that if you take nothing else away from this conversation, it's that it's really important that you surround yourself with people who are going to take you to another level, and that they are more readily available than many of us may think. I think oftentimes, if you follow me on social media and you see me and my tribe, and we're, out with Paul Brunson, or we're having access to opportunities where Mark Cuban is, or something of that nature, you may think, wow, that's really lofty. And in some ways, I guess maybe it is. But I tell you, once you begin joining clubs and really educating yourself and putting yourself in positions where you can meet these folks, it just becomes sort of everyday occurrence. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm not saying that to impress you. I'm saying that to impress upon you that anything that you desire, you can achieve. If it's in your heart, I believe it's there for a reason, and it's there because it's something that you can achieve. I just don't believe that something is put into our heart that's an impossibility for us. I just really believe that with my entire heart, that if you have something that you want, that it's possible for you. Doesn't mean it's easy to achieve. It just means that it's possible for you, or else you wouldn't get that vision in the first place. I think it's Albert Einstein said that imagination is actually more important than knowledge. I think if we let that sink in for a while, it'll really, change some lives. I definitely hope it changes yours. It's definitely changed mine. So like I said, for the month of November, we will be rolling out some incredible opportunities, some incredible information, keeping in contact with you, hearing about what your needs are. And we're starting this week, Thursday, with a 10-day business tip of the day that really can help you begin to think about your entrepreneurial journey in a different way and what you need, the actual resources, the actual tools. So I'm going to just do a daily few minutes on one tip and one action item that you can take to move closer to your goals in business. They're the Her Power Biz Tips. So we'll be doing that for the next 10 business days, as in Monday through Friday days. Of course, we do business 7 days, right? And, on actually, this is the first time I'm saying it on the podcast, on November 19th, which is also World Women Entrepreneurship Day, we will be launching herpowerlist.biz. I am so excited about this resource because if you're a Sister Power Hustler and you're in the Facebook community at herpowerhustle.com/Facebook, our Sister Power Hustlers, women only community, you already know the resources and the amazing information that can be shared and the way that we actually support one another's businesses as customers. Money changes hands. That's how commerce works. That's how we all win. You know that exists, but oftentimes in Facebook groups, it's very difficult and unwieldy to follow up on threads or find information or to really market yourself. I mean, I think we've all been in these groups where people just market their goods and services, and they sort of just throw them out there, but there's not real engagement. So herpowerlist.biz will be launching on November 19th as the first interactive women's led business online directory. And we are pulling out all the stops. You will be able to upload video of yourself, your business, just like we do on Periscope when we're able to talk about our businesses, and you can interact as a business owner, a woman-led business owner. And then on the other side, this will be a destination for people to come when they know they want good quality products and services. And the other piece is that our community, unlike many other business directories, will have a specific focus on those of us who are entrepreneurs/creatives. And when I say that, I think all entrepreneurs are creatives, but I mean specifically our tribe who blogs, who podcasts, who does all types of other creative endeavors, coaching and consulting. And you will be able to list your business and have folks find you in a way that is concise, that you can interact with them, as well as interacting with others who are in the field of women of Her Power List. So I am just super excited about that. I'll be sending you more information and sharing more information as we get closer to launch. But in the meantime, next up, after this incredible conversation with Carol Sankar, we are talking with Nora Poggi. Nora Poggi actually is the co-director, co-producer of an upcoming documentary called She Started It. And for 2 years, they followed 5 women entrepreneurs, and they talk about their journey as tech entrepreneurs in various places around the world, specifically in Silicon Valley, but they come from various places around the country and the world. And the trailer looks incredible, so that's just a little teaser to what's coming up on next Monday's episode of the Her Power Hustle podcast. If you have enjoyed this content, please share it with your tribe. Share it with folks. Let people know about Her Power Hustle and what we are doing and the information that we are bringing to you. We do not want to be the best kept secret for women entrepreneurs. So definitely share us if you liked it. If you're a woman entrepreneur, head over to herpowerhustle.com/Facebook and join us in the Sister Power Hustlers Facebook group. We'd love to have you. As I always like to say, her hustle is real. I'll see you next time. Have a great week.
Thanks for tuning in to the Her Power Hustle podcast, produced and hosted by Michelle Talbot, with voiceover talent by Mr. Matt Young, music created by Warren McRae for 24/7 Music Group.